Call the meeting to order at 7:03.
Trustee Wyland. Present. Mayor Howard.
Here.
Trustee Stoll. Here. Trustee Smith.
Here.
Trustee Hart online.
Here.
And Schaefer's late.
Okay. Approval of the agenda. Did you guys look over that? And may I have a motion to approve it?
So motion. I'll second.
Any discussion on it? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. We will move into public comment. Public comments are limited to 3 minutes. When you are recognized, please stand, state your name, and then address the board in a professional manner. The Board of Trustees may not respond to your comments during this meeting. Rather, they may take your comments and suggestions under advisement, and your questions will be directed to the appropriate person or department for follow-up.
Okay, Annette Burmaster. So here we are. One quick question before I start my comments. Do we prefer to hold comments regarding the new ordinance until that is discussed by the board and have an interactive discussion? Or do you want to try to remember what was said?
Well, why don't you just go ahead and do it now? Because when we go into the ordinance, it will be a public hearing. So there is an opportunity for you to comment after that, if you have any.
Okay. One quick question with ordinance 5, does that supersede any of the sections of ordinance 4? That would be a question.
The answer to that is no, it doesn't supersede it, it amends it.
Okay, so if there's statements in conflict, which one wins? You don't have to answer it. Just-
Okay,
I can
have
bring it
to check
back
with
up.
Ruth on that.
Yeah, I can bring it back up, but there's
I don't know that it would. So,
I think any comments with regard to the public hearing and ordinance 4 should be held during the public hearing, so it becomes part of the record with regard to that ordinance.
Okay, so we don't want any of those comments during public comment. That was it's gonna be too hard to tie the knots back then. Okay,
Correct. And yes, I just think that'll be easier and,
makes
you
sense.
know, won't take much time to get there.
Cool, then I'll be way shorter. My name is Annette Burmaster. For those of you who don't know, my husband Todd and I own Patty Ann's Cafe and the building in which it resides. 230 Comanche Street, for those that don't know. A quick reference, I was thinking the other day, so when you go to Patty Ann's Cafe, if you've ever been there, clearly stated on our menu, it says you get these drinks and these are free refills, and they're highlighted in red and they're underlined so everybody understands the things above this line get free refills and the stuff below this line does not, right? So if all of a sudden you came into Patty Ann's and you ordered your iced tea, and when you wanted a refill, I said, oh, sorry, we're kind of short on tea, so in case we get a big rush, right, we get a table of 6, then I may not have enough. So you don't get a free refill today. But you still pay the same price. And yes, it says so on my menu, but that's okay because we're running short on tea. Just bear that in mind as we talk about these ordinances and what we do and do not allow businesses to do. I will skip all that stuff regarding the ordinance and I'll hold on to that. We've heard mentioned several times, either by board members, by town administrators, business owners, residents, what have you, that there's a certain growing level of animosity in our town. We should ask ourselves individually why that is and how we either help or hurt that. We are a small community. We don't need to be reminded we're a small community. We all came here because it's a small community. We enjoy the things that that provides, and yes, we understand some of the challenges that it faces. I think that differences of opinion should be an opportunity for understanding and collaboration, not harsh words and retaliation, as we've seen in years past. Small communities require more cooperation, more communication, not less. We should be working together to find opportunities, not problems. You can always find problems. What we do about that is what makes the difference between a small town community and just a small town. That's it. So I'd urge the board to weigh the advice and recommendations made by people who have no vested interest in our town's success, and make your considerations as you may. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay, Debbie Owen.
Before you start the time, I just wanted to take a minute to hand out these packets, because I'd like these to be in front of you as I go through it. And I'll leave one for administration, because I would like it in the record. Yep. My name is Debbie Ellum. I'm the property owner of 228 Comanche Street. November 2024, town administration sent a letter to Elbert County about uses at 228 Comanche Street. You'll find it in your packet. But suddenly in May 2025, it is deemed an emergency and an ordinance must be passed without consulting any of the property owners. We obviously disagree about the status of an emergency 7 months later. In May, the board passes an emergency ordinance. June, the board states that there will be exceptions. June 17th, Global Propane requests an exception. Admin response, there are no exceptions. The tone of the response was less than welcoming and called out the second location as not aware of his plan. We have 3 empty buildings in this town and businesses are not running to Kiowa. Pages 1 and 2 of your package show 3 buildings sitting empty. Page 2 and 3 shows what the board approved just this month. That business at the top of the hill was done as a special use. It has no bathrooms, no lighting. What is it bringing to the town? But you want to, if the point is there. Page 4 in your packet is the letter to the county that was sent by administration, and every board member was included on it. Page 5 is the definition of a town center. Please note number 2 and 3 on there. It specifically calls out the historical, and it lists restaurants, offices. It lists everything we have down there. I will say page 6 is your map showing C1. Page 7 is an open records request for 228 Comanche Street showing that it was rezoned to town center. Please note, I asked for the affidavits of service. I asked for that I'd been notified that I'd been served and changed my zoning to town center. That was in 24. The open records request says none of those documents exist. Therefore, am I town center or am I not? Page 8 is a core request to the county regarding the agreement that the town said that they had been working on with the county in regards to leasing properties or anything in town. And I specifically, when I asked them, they said it would be considered an IGA. So I used the words IGA on the agreement. You'll see page 9 is the county's response from the county manager. It states that there is no agreement that exists. I am asking you as the board to repeal the entire ordinance from May of 2025 in regards to town center. Let's get back to being a community and business. I know my time is up. I will just say, if it doesn't exist based on zoning properties, is it really bad for Kiowa? Because my zoning allows it.
Okay, Nikki Owen.
I would like to address the last thing about the IGA that you talked about, Debbie. We
Mhm.
never said it has been done.
No, you said
We are-
it was in the works.
It is, yes.
And they say it doesn't exist. I'm
There's
just
nothing
telling you
in-
what the open record
Okay,
says.
well, it's in the hands of the different attorneys at this point, so.
Hi, Nikki Olam. Why would anyone come to Kiowa, invest in property or lease with tenant finish expenses and have to apply as a special use with an annual review? No one would give the town control over their livelihood that way. The proposed changes don't even make sense. Just repeal the original emergency ordinance, or we will join the class action lawsuit against the town of Kiowa. The Board of Trustees for the taking of zoned allowed property rights and ordinance that was not an emergency. I think it's ridiculous, but thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Okay, Joey.
I'm Joey Kuhn. I own Just Peachy. I feel like I'm a broken record occasionally. I've been here a lot, but I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it out there. So the special use permit that's now on the new paperwork, it doesn't work. It doesn't work for a few reasons. A special use permit should be used only in special circumstances. This is gonna be used across the board only for office space use. So if for some reason the bar doesn't sell and somebody comes in there and wants to use it for office space, they now cannot ask for a special use. I may not sell that building, it could sit for years. I already have one building that's sat for 2 years. It has cost me thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. I don't have to repeat myself because you guys have heard me 100 times. I'm trying to talk fast. You know, if we wanna start cutting costs, we ought to start talking about how often we have attorneys in our sessions that we don't need them. Okay, we have thousands. In 2023, our cost for attorney's fees was $64,000 about. In 2024, it was 30,000. This year, we're headed towards another 30,000. If we had every building in town that you guys don't want to be used the way we should be able to use it, our costs will not even meet the attorney's fees. Stop using attorneys so much and start using them when you need them. Call them twice a month with your questions. She does not need to be online. She doesn't even address everything we need to talk about anyways. It doesn't matter. We don't really need her there. I wanna tell you guys, I appreciate your volunteer. That you guys volunteer yourselves, you give your time. We appreciate that. All of us here do. But I will tell you that I feel like you guys are the CEOs of Kiowa. You run this town. You don't know you do, but you do. You need to start acting like you run it. The buck does stop with you. You are the bosses, actually, of everybody that works here. And you need to make sure that this town runs appropriately and not because you're told how to vote or what you should be thinking, but what is smart. I don't think that, you know, it's kind of like if you leave that baby in the backyard to go that's by the pool, the 1-year-old, so you can go in the house to mix a cocktail, you're not really doing your job. And so right now, I feel like you guys aren't doing your job. I feel like you're making mistakes based on, I don't know what, I don't know where you're getting your information from. But honestly, I have ran enough businesses and have enough, I am dedicated to this town. I have probably over $2 million worth of property I've invested in this town. I have a lot to lose if I can't rent a building the way I need to rent it. Or sell it the way I need to sell it. If somebody comes in right now to buy that bar and it doesn't sell. I don't even know. You guys need to really be thinking here. People are gonna walk away. I promise you. Thank you.
Hey, David Albert. David? Yes, you.
I'm David Albert. I own 323 Comanche. And I was looking at section 2A. I know this is the one, I don't know if you're gonna change it or not. It says offices shall be permitted only in areas containing existing commercial office use. I was concerned that I had heard that Debbie Olam had an office building and you denied the use of it by global propane as an office. If I sell my building and I want to have it as an office and somebody else wants to use it as an office, are you going to deny that too? It seems you denied it to Debbie. And so I'm really concerned about that, even though you said in here it would be okay. I'm not sure. I also own a vacant lot, lot 21. I'm concerned that on line 5, you are stating in there that if I chose to sell it, the owner would be limited in what he could use for it. I didn't know my land was, the zoning was changed. I never heard about it. Nobody notified me. I'm there 6 and 7 days a week. Nobody came by. Why wasn't I notified as a landowner that you're changing the zoning? I don't get that. I'm there. None of you came by? Why? I don't get it. But if you continue to take away the property rights of us property owners, I'm curious how much you're budgeting for your legal fees, because they're gonna be climbing, because there will be a lot of lawsuits. Thank you.
Okay, Keith Westfall.
I'm Keith Westfall. I have high price survey down here. I just think you need to repeal this whole mess, in my opinion. You can't do a use by special review every year on every business. There's nobody would come in here. There's nobody, you couldn't run a business that way. I mean, this isn't working. You guys are, you just need to repeal the whole thing and call it a day. This is a terrible idea. This is not a destination city. You can't, a flower shop or a gift shop or something like that, if they're not gonna come here, and if they did, it wouldn't work. What you have is, there's a reason that the type of businesses that are in here. I mean, we're not Glenwood Springs or Estes Park. We're a growing county and we have this type of businesses in here. You guys are just barking up the wrong tree, I think, and you're gonna end up getting sued over the deal because you're financially going to hurt a lot of people. So, thank you.
Okay, Bobby McAllister. Yes. Okay, I will take you on. Rick Pettit.
I'm gonna say my piece about the ordinance, cause I gotta leave in a little bit. But as far as I'm concerned, this is just a money grab by the town because they're having financial problems. Which has been partially, caused because of the town. This town has nowhere to grow. So there's no way of getting more taxes or income to help the resources that we're short. You know, we're not taking care of the roads, we're not, the parks, that's about it. I don't know what other services we're doing. But part of this is because of when the 90 acres south of town was denied. I don't know whether the agreement was good or bad, but there should have been people that put aside their personal feelings to deal with craft, to see if there's something that could have come up and made an agreement to help this town, to help the water and sewer board. As it is, the water and sewer board, needs improvements. There's no way of getting more tap fees. There's no way getting more people to help with the expenses for the water and sewer. So they're just gonna keep climbing, and the citizens in this town are gonna bear the brunt. It's the same thing with the town. There's no building permit fees that they're gonna get. There's no tax money if it had come in. I understand that they were talking about drilling a new well for this town. I don't know how this well has lasted as long as it is, because it's only about 80 feet deep. It's all alluvial water. Sooner or later, something's gonna happen, and this town is not gonna have any money. Or doesn't have money now, but there's no way of growing, because Malone has us surrounded. So you're not gonna do there. The 90 acres, if it gets developed, is in the county now, so all tax money will go to the county. The city won't get any building permits will all go to the county. So essentially, we're creating our own problem on why we're short of money. We can't take care of the things we have. We're done.
Okay, Scott Kellogg.
I'm Scott Kellogg. Wife and I own 212 and 214 Comanche. Got a couple of businesses, Douglas County Septic and Kellogg Contracting. We run as an office out of the building. We're leasing the other half to the county, Elba County. I don't have anything formally prepared tonight, but question I have in my head is has anybody done any kind of a pro forma financial feasibility analysis or anything like that on what the this ordinance, how it's gonna help the town? The way I get it, I understand that the town's in financial hardship right now and we need to raise money. But if these three buildings are sitting vacant right now, let's say a t-shirt shop or ice cream shop or something like that moves in, antique store or whatever, what kind of tax revenue is that gonna generate for the town? Because I know firsthand that a couple of retail stores that are in town right now aren't generating a very significant amount of tax revenue for the town. So I don't know what kind of difference that's really gonna help by not allowing offices to operate in the town. I don't think, to Keith's point, this isn't a destination city. I don't think it ever will be. It's kind of a working man's town, an ag town. We don't have a Rocky Mountain National Park in the backyard. We don't have, it's not Estes Park or Grand Lake, Colorado. But I believe that, these business offices in town do most definitely bring commerce to the town. We have a lot of walk-in business every day. We have a lot of walk-in business and I know those folks will turn around and walk down to Beano's Pizza, go over to Mona's to buy whatever they need to buy or fill up their tanks with gas. So I just think it's a bad idea and I encourage y'all to reconsider and repeal this ordinance. Thank you.
Okay, Karen? Does that say Newling?
Neveling,
Neveling, okay.
I'm Karen Neveling, I live in Rama. I go through Kiowa every day. I'm actually working in Kiowa, I've been here several months. And was very surprised to hear about this moratorium because actually, I'll tell you, I searched because I had Elizabeth. I've been in Elizabeth, my office, I'm the CPA, I've been working with Dave Elbert. I have an office in Elizabeth. I closed my office, I had a business permit to do business. I searched on your website, I could not find a business permit to do business. I couldn't find a business license until I Googled specifically town of Kiowa business license, so I don't have a license. Sometimes it appears I can't get a license because I'm new in town. And I'm really concerned about this because I was considering buying here in town and putting an office here in town, and now I don't know what I'm doing. I've been working with Dave for 4 months. We have a lot of clients. We have a lot of people come through town from outside, clear from Strasburg, clear up in Johnstown. I had one in. They come from all over to our offices and they say, where's a good place to eat? I say, go over to Patty Ann's, go over to Beano's. They go down and we gotta fill up our RV. Go fill up over here. There's people coming. It's not just all about sales tax. And, you said in your Facebook page that it's not about sales tax and it's not about income, that the town is not hurting. It's because there's no sales tax revenues being generated though by these office spaces, but they're going to these other businesses. And so, I don't really know very much about your town politics. I have not been involved in the town of Kiowa, though I've been, my grandkids go to school here. You know, I know a lot of people here. I just don't know what's all going on with all this, and so I really came to get more information, but as an outsider coming in, it scares me a little bit. Scares me a little bit to want to open an office in here with all this going on. So that's all I had to say today, but I would like you to repeal that whole moratorium.
Yeah.
Okay, Scott Stillman?
Hi, guys. Jonathan, I know you. We used to be neighbors. And all of you guys, I do appreciate what you do. But I'm gonna tell you right now, you guys are putting a strong hand against the businesses of this city. First, we couldn't put flags up just to help move our business along. That got squelched. Now we don't know where that stands. I'm pretty much correct on that, right? Am I right? That's a quick question. Can you answer that?
The planning commission will be finishing up the details on that tomorrow night's meeting.
Awesome, good to know. And I do appreciate what you guys do. I can't even imagine going through what you go through. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I've already filed a complaint with the state AG's office. Anybody else out here do that? Can I see hands? Thank you, because that's gonna get busier. We're here to build this community. I'm a builder. I'm at 329 Comanche. We have people walk in all the time. Today, we had a couple girls come in to have us donate to the fair. We're happy to do that. It's about community, and you guys are tearing it down. And we're building it up. I built the automotive shop for Elizabeth High School where I graduated in '82. You know how proud that was for me and for the people that I graduated there. That's what community is about. So I'm gonna ask you guys right now, think about flipping the script. You guys think about being me and being Debbie and being Dave and being everybody else and see how you feel about your life that you put your whole stake into to build and seek here in this city. You guys think about you being us. See how you feel. Repeal it as soon as you can, immediately. Or this community is gonna be tore apart and you guys are gonna be at the face of it. But I do appreciate what you're doing. I do appreciate the opportunity to talk, but we gotta change this immediately. Thank you.
Okay, David Lindauer?
So I'm listening.
Yep, whenever you're ready.
All right. The government is required to be accountable to its citizens. They're required to be transparent. There are laws for the good of the people that all governments have to follow. One of them is a Colorado law that says any meeting at which an adoption of any proposed policy, position, resolution, rule, regulation, or formal action, what you guys are doing here tonight, has to be publicly given a notice of 24 hours, including posting the agenda. The agenda for this meeting, still not on the website. I checked right before I walked in. What's this meeting even for? How would people know what the meeting is for? How did you guys notify the public? Violation of Colorado law. July's earlier meeting from this month, still not an agenda posted, even though you guys had the meeting. The minutes from June's meeting last month, still not posted. People have a right to know what the government is doing. This isn't North Korea, this isn't the dark ages. There has to be checks and balances. The people have to know what's going on. What Kai was doing here, the activities are blatantly unconstitutional, and there's violations of state and federal laws. It's a small town government, but there's still rules that you guys have to follow. I know it's easy, it seems like we can just pass them in a small room, but there's still accountability. We'll catch up. I want to know, why is Kiowa so anti-business? Business means commerce, it's tax revenue. It is the lifeblood of a town. This town of all places needs all of the revenue and tax stuff that it can get. A year ago, I stood in this room and I wanted to come build fiber to the town. It creates new job opportunities, creates learning opportunities. It raises property values. There's plenty of studies on that. That's good for the town, and it was rejected. And instead of giving the permit application that I asked for, that is required to easily be findable on the website, which I believe somebody else said they looked for permit applications, Colorado law, again, required to be posted, was not there. I pushed and pushed and pushed, could not be given them. And then one of these meetings, finally, I was promised we'd get them, and then there was another one of these secret last minute meetings that wasn't posted, nobody mentioned it at all. And then all the fees were changed overnight to fees that are legal by Colorado law. Very easy to look up. It says you guys can charge permitting for what it costs you, not make money. But there's records here where people in this room said, I think we should be able to make money off that. Well, Colorado says you can't, but that was what everyone was pushing for. You know, the town basically got greedy. Instead of taking that revenue and saying, thank you for building in this town where there's very little business and very little commerce, it got greedy. But on the other hand, you've got Joey and Debbie and lots of people in this room that have been trying to bring business in. You know, there were daycares and bars and different things that helped the population that were proposed. That would be good for the town. All commerce is good commerce. It's tax revenue. It's what you guys need. And everyone shut it down. I don't understand. They're trying to create jobs. They're trying to invest in the community. Who else is out here investing in your community? What does the town want? Why is Kiowa so anti-business? Why is Kiowa so anti-citizens? So, I just want to close. You guys are government officials. You have a duty to do. You guys already have a lot of lawsuits. You shouldn't make it harder for yourself. You should welcome all people here that are willing to put time and cash into the business, into the town. Thanks.
Hey, David, for future reference, there's a ribbon right across the homepage that says agendas and minutes.
Mhm.
We're gonna find all those things.
I can show you the screenshot that I took before I walked in on the agendas and minutes. When you open 2025, the last one on there is June. It has an agenda, no minutes. There's nothing for July. There's nothing at all on July.
So those are the old ones in their archive. There's actually a new platform there from Civic Plus. The button for it is on the homepage.
If you Google Kiowa Town agendas, the page pulls up where it says agendas and minutes. It doesn't say this is the old page. This is not the place to look. Go here. It has stuff from June. I clicked on agenda at the top. If you guys didn't know, I actually am a web developer. I've been doing this for 25 years. So if I can't find it, I would love to know who in this room was there. Was any, okay, raise your hand. Who found it? Who found the agenda?
An hour ago,
We got one.
an hour ago, it was on the website because I pulled it up on my laptop.
Okay, well,
From
did anybody
the
else have a
Kiowa
problem finding the
website.
agenda? Does anybody else? Okay, thank you.
Okay, that's the
All I
last,
can give you is information, David.
Excuse me.
the last,
My name's on the list.
yes, what's your name, dear?
David Summers.
And what's your address, David?
My wife and I own the tree farm behind the car wash. I believe it's 200. Again, my name is David Summers. My wife and I own the tree farm that's located behind the car wash. I'm against the moratorium, but I came tonight because I think there might be some alternatives. I think there might be a better way to accomplish what we're all trying to accomplish for the town of Kiowa. I think that the trustees and the mayor should consider incentivizing property owners to bring new businesses that generate tax revenue and help other businesses generate tax revenue or not. If they could incentivize these property owners, many of you are here tonight, if they could incentivize them to bring what they want, what the city needs and what they want, namely businesses that generate sales tax revenue, that would be a good thing. Now, one possible way to do that, just as a suggestion, is to say to all of these property owners, look, if you're a property owner, you can do with whatever you want, within the limits with your property. We're not going to tell you what you can and cannot do by a moratorium. Instead, what we could maybe say to the property owners is, look, if you bring a business and you rent to a business that generates sales tax revenue, new sales tax revenue for the city of Kiowa, we will share that revenue with you for the first year. So for the first year, we will take whatever sales revenue that business generates and we will give you back half of it. That way, the city of Kiowa gets half of it that they didn't have before, and the property owner gets half of the sales tax revenue. That's an incentive to bring a business to the town of Kiowa. And then, if they know that money is coming in, that property owner can say, well, wait a minute, maybe I can give a business that generates sales tax revenue a break. We'll give them a discount on their rent the first year. And so that's gonna help the business develop because they pay less for their rent. The property owner basically gets the same amount of money that they would get whether they rented to a sales tax generating revenue business or whether they rented to an office business. They would get the same revenue for their building that supports, they've still got to pay their mortgage. They've still got their own financial obligations. But it would be a way, just as an alternative to consider, a way to incentivize property owners and to get everybody on the same page, everybody working towards, let's bring some new businesses to the town of Kiowa that generate sales tax revenue. Now, we all want new businesses because we don't just want ones that generate sales tax revenue. We also want businesses that provide referrals and do those other things. But that's just one alternative, but I think that the trustees should consider those alternatives to incentivize what they want to happen instead of a moratorium on what they don't want. So, thank you very much.
Okay, anybody else?
I have something. Mr. Summers, I cannot thank you enough for what you just spoke about. And it really opens a door to clarify some of the issues that are being discussed this evening. And we will just have to incorporate everything that's been made onto the record into the public hearing with regard to Ordinance 5. But most importantly, you are spot on with regard to providing incentives and creating opportunities. And all this moratorium does not affect any existing business, any existing retail. All it does is allows the town time to draft and create and implement some of these incentives and create more area of town center. And with regard to town center, that was an overlay district and no zoning or development rights or permitted uses were taken away from any business in the town. None. The only aspect of this moratorium that affects anyone is with regard to office space. And the purpose of addressing those needs this evening and the concerns articulated by all of you, and we appreciate all of you coming, but there is inordinate misunderstanding about the scope of this moratorium, the purpose of it, and how it really affects existing businesses and people trying to make a living.
Kim, you need to correct that. You need to correct that, Kim. Kick me out, but you need to correct that. She is wrong and you know it. She
So
is
I'm not
wrong
gonna
and you
engage
know
with
it.
it, no.
She's wrong and you know it.
I need you to be respectful to her like they were respectful to
She
you
is
guys.
wrong and you know it.
Joey?
My comment was that we all try to work together.
Yes, sir.
That was.
And she's simply expressing appreciation for it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Is there anybody else in the room? Or should we go check out the onlines? Okay, see if there's anybody online.
Is there anybody online that would like to give a public comment at this time?
I don't. Okay. I don't see any hands going up.
We're still on the record, so, I know I'm remote, but everybody needs to stop talking at the same time.
Can we go check?
Yeah. I'll look.
So question. Do you have any issue? Yeah.
Not in there. Feel like this.
Yes, so
Can I ask a question of Ruth?
certainly.
Ruth, this is Annette, Burmaster from Patty Ann's. So if Todd and I decide tomorrow that we no longer want to be a restaurant and we're gonna give our property to our children, and our children decide that they want to close down the restaurant and open a yoga studio, is that permitted tomorrow? Can we get a yoga license tomorrow? Yes or no?
We can't hear you, Ruth. Sorry. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
not according to the language of ordinance 4.
It-
It's not revenue generating because it is a service, therefore there's no sales tax.
Yes.
And it is a current revenue generating business.
Okay.
So.
You're still charging fees and have to charge sales tax on.
No, you're not on services for a yoga studio, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay.
so
But
public-
anyway,
Public
that's just
comment
my
is over now.
to yours that it doesn't affect all of us.
We need to move on.
Yeah, go ahead. My apologies. I'm so sorry. That's not.
Okay, we're at interview with the town of Kiowa for a board applicant. You guys have your, information.
Yeah, you should have the packet and the interview question.
Thank you all for your public comment, and we'll get moving on. Mona? Mona has applied to be on the board. And we've got her information here. There are some, prepared questions.
Mona.
Sorry, Nona.
No, it's okay. I just didn't know if we missed somebody that wanted to.
No,
speak.
ma'am.
Okay.
So I know Mona, I know quite a bit about Mona. I really don't have a lot of questions for you,
Oh,
but
really?
maybe someone else does.
I'm just glad that you're gonna step up and
Thank you.
enjoy
Yeah.
this.
I'll start. Yeah, question number 1, why do you want to be a board member?
Well, I never thought I'd be in this position. I never wanted to be in this position. But I can't take it anymore. I have to do it for my children, for the people in this room. I can't let my business, High Plains Foods, Landmark Realty, K-Town Salon. I can't let what's happening with this moratorium happen. And I will do everything in my power to sit on this board and do the right thing. Because I have listened to this room full of my friends, my customers, the people that have been in this community for over 40 years, like myself, the newcomers, the people that want to come in, the people that want to open a business, the people that want to live in Kiowa because it's the best place on earth. I've lived here for 40 years and I love it here and I'm not going anywhere. There you go. Thank you, Bailey. Anybody else have a question for me?
So what would you say to number 3? What do you see as the town's greatest strengths?
Oh, I tell everyone every day, they come into my store and they say, do you live here? And I said, yes, I live here. I love it. They said, they tell me how wonderful. They just drive through and they stop and they say, this is the most beautiful place to live. And they say, do I live here? And I say, yes, I do. And I love it. These people, I've known them for years. They're wonderful people. They want the best for the town of Kiowa. I want the best for the town of Kiowa. My children went to school here. They've been in 4-H. I support 4-H for years, ever since I opened the store, as you do too. I love the children. I've had probably over 100 kids come into my store in the last month, as you have too. Here, I'm selling a turkey, I'm selling this, and I'm like, I would love to support these people, these kids. This is the future. And it's right here in Kiowa. It's awesome. And I could go on for hours, but thank you, Connie.
Oh, Joe. For me, and we have the questions and it's great that I remember when Steve and Mona first moved to Kiowa and built the store and then added on to it and on each end to do, what's known salon and a real estate office and everything else. I remember Steve's deal, he always wanted to own a grocery store. And so, yeah, I'm older than 40 years old now, because I've known Mama since she moved here, but, at this point, I guess I like to make the most, and we'll just move through this, because we all know too well, hell, everybody in this damn room knows it. I mean, this is an easy fit, so at this point, I'd like to make the motion that we accept chance to be a trustee for the town of Kiowa.
Thank you.
I second that.
Wait a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Did we do that? Okay.
Tammy, we're gonna do a poll vote. I'll start with you,
Thank you.
trustee Hart,
Aye.
trustee Wyman. Aye. Mayor Howard,
Aye.
trustee Schaefer,
Aye.
trustee Stahl,
Aye.
trustee Smith.
Aye.
Welcome, Mona.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mona.
Mona, don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Swear you in.
Swear you in.
Or you change your mind and run.
So once I do this, it's done. All right, so raise your right hand. All right, repeat after me. Took my glasses off now, I can't read it. Oh, getting old's bad. Okay. I, Mona Chance,
I'm Mona Shamus.
do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that as a member of the Board of Trustees
that as a member of the Board of Trustees
of the town of Kiowa,
of the town of Kiowa,
I will support and defend the Constitution
I will support and defend the Constitution
of the United States,
of the United States,
the Constitution and statutes
the Constitution and statutes
of the state of Colorado,
of the state of Colorado,
the charter and ordinances
the charter and ordinances
of the town of Kiowa,
of the town of Kiowa,
and that I will,
and that I will,
in all appointments
in all appointments
and all other business
and all other business
before the town Board of Trustees
before the town Board of Trustees
of the town of Kiowa,
of the town of Kiowa,
vote without favor,
vote without favor,
affection,
affection,
partiality,
partiality,
or prejudice,
or prejudice,
that I will not promote or assent
that I will not promote or assent
to any ordinance,
to any ordinance,
resolution, or vote,
resolution, or vote,
or take part in,
or take part in,
or consent to any act
or consent to any act
that appears to me
that appears to me
will abridge the rights
will abridge the rights
and privileges of the citizens
of the privilege of the citizens
of the town of Kiowa,
of the town of Kiowa,
under the Constitution of the United States
under the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Colorado.
and the state of Colorado.
Congratulations, Mona.
Thank you.
I will just have you.
Merci. Thank you. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Mona.
Appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
Okay. We have resolution number 9, series 2025, Town of Kiowa election resolution for 2025 election ballot. basically, this is required for us to have anything on the ballot for this coming up election. And if you were at the last meeting, we discussed some things that we'd like to go on there. Kim, would you like to go into more detail on that, or should we have Ruth?
I'll have Ruth do it.
Okay. Ruth, would you like to explain this resolution a bit to us, please?
Sasha could do it since she's our election official.
Well, yeah, that's true.
And it's a
Okay.
requirement.
Basically-
Go ahead, Sasha.
Oh, basically, we have to, if we are. Excuse me, folks. Thank you.
You guys, you cover on the video or on the recording when you talk in the background.
It's hard to hear. Anyway, basically, we do a joint election with the county. And so we have to enter an IGA with the county. So we send them all of our information and they actually put it on the ballots. And we have so many rules and there's so many dates. Anyway, as part of that, we are required by the state to have a resolution that says we are going to have items on the election coming this fall. And so we have to send that resolution to the county. And then they send an IGA back. And we work together to do the election in the fall. So it's kind of just a hoop we have to jump through, a legal hoop we have to jump through to have an election in the fall. So yeah, formality, there's nothing crazy about it. It just says we're going to work with the county to hold an election this fall.
Okay.
So.
It's required by state law.
Correct. It's basically a formality, but we have to do it. So I can send it to the county and say, yes, we would like to be on the election with you this fall.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept this, or do we have any discussion from the board members on it?
Formality, so moved.
Okay.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you. I will send it
I
to the
guess I
county.
need to sign this here.
Yes, please. So I can send it on.
Send it.
Okay, we're now gonna call the public hearings to order. Those of you that were at our last meeting know that we were discussing an ordinance amending the emergency moratorium.
Temporary.
Well, temporary moratorium. Do all of you, did you look at that in your packet? Do we have any comment or questions on it?
I mean, I have concerns. I kind of voiced that in our last one, that sometimes it feels like we're putting Band-Aids on injuries that need surgery. And I didn't see a lot of change. And I mean, nobody in this room stood up and said, what a great moratorium. I mean, I didn't hear that. I think that there's a lot that something different should happen, but that's just my opinion.
So before we proceed, Sasha, I just want to make sure that all of the public comment for this public hearing is incorporated under this ordinance, because most people were speaking to the issues presented in ordinance 5.
There's anybody who needs to come back up?
No, it's just to make sure that
I mean,
it goes under the right
well,
heading.
the only thing was I was thinking our first speaker, Annette, said that she was gonna speak to that later. That was my only question.
Yeah, if anybody wants to speak again, they certainly can. And then I believe it was Mona that was talking about the yoga studio. I just want to clarify that two things. One is, it's interesting because we don't have fitness clubs and some of those issues articulated, but most importantly, yes, the membership is not taxed, but everything you provide from a yoga studio would have sales tax, like a mat or like water or like drinks or anything that you would use would generate sales tax and would be a welcome use in the town and would not be prohibited under the current moratorium.
Because we have the audience, please be quiet. When this records, it picks up all the background noise and you can't hear what's being said. So I would appreciate it if you could keep your conversations till after we're done talking.
Annette, did you want to come back up, please?
Hang on, Annette.
Okay.
Ruth, should we go ahead with public comment or read the amended ordinance first and then have public hearing on it?
I think you can do it either way.
Okay. Go ahead then, Annette, come on up.
I'll be quick, but I'll reference this section so you guys can look. So when I came up before, I asked about, or I mentioned that there were certain things that were not, I forget what word I used, they were in conflict, one with the other. So ordinance 4 in section 3 has an exception list. So are we saying now that ordinance 5, that exception list is out the window and now ordinance 5 takes the place of that? Because if that's the case, there's a section number 5 of section number 5 in section 2 of ordinance 5. Are you following me so far? Section 5 specifically says that construction and development of new offices is not allowed. But in ordinance 4, it says constructions of residence and commercial building is allowed as a use by right. And additions or renovations to commercial buildings are allowed as an exception in ordinance 4. In ordinance 5, we're saying it's not allowed. So that's the kind of incongruent, do we allow it, do we not allow it?
Okay, first off, we should have read the amendment. The amendment,
With that, but however you guys want to do it,
well,
you did. And then I noted everything, so it's unfair.
well, what I'm getting at is there's a different amendment that's being proposed than what you have.
Then what was sent out? Excuse me?
That,
Okay,
okay, what
Okay,
was?
then we'll sit down. Cause then I've spent 2 hours
I
reading it
understand.
and
Yeah.
making my notes, so if they're irrelevant, I'm
Well,
not.
we had to make some changes to it,
Okay,
and that was done last minute
then
today.
maybe we should read them and see if any of our
Okay,
information is helpful or not.
okay.
Wow.
That's, there, and I understand how things have to be posted and everything. That's part of the problem. There's a lot of misinformation that gets put out. For example, when we were talking about the banners, everybody came in here, oh, we had approved that already. We hadn't. It was just passed on to us from the planning commission. So, Ruth, do we need to read the whole ordinance?
Yes, I would distribute copies of it. I think
Revised ordinance was here.
did you hear me?
Those
Sorry, I was making sure I was on speaker.
Those are agendas.
Can we get a copy of the revision? Please.
Sasha, would you make some copies, please?
I think I have them revised.
This is the one that you printed off last time, right?
I would just like to make a couple of comments regarding the moratorium. Number one, it is a temporary moratorium. The main purpose that it was put in place for was due to the county. Please, I don't need the additional conversation. I'm trying to explain some things to you. My goal was to have this done in a couple of months. Well, since we seem to get arguing and complaining about it, we're not able to move along like we'd like to do. Good, that just lasts longer then. It makes it take longer. This isn't open for discussion right now, Debbie, I'm just explaining things. It's a temporary moratorium. The main reason was due to the county and that meeting where we passed this moratorium, the county called that special meeting. We did not call that. They wanted to meet with our board. We got together. They decided they weren't coming to the meeting. So it addressed that. We are now working with the county on some things. The other thing is changing the zoning areas. None of that's been changed yet. We're trying to work on that. It has to go through the planning commission first, then it comes to us. And then we decide what with it and if we accept that. You all are welcome to come to the planning commission meetings. Planning commission, they're volunteers as well. It seems that people think that we're up here trying to do damage to the town. We're not. I am not an attorney. I've never been a mayor before. I am definitely not a politician. I am a citizen of this town, and I want to see it thrive. I have no hidden agenda, nothing else. A couple of you have come and talked to me, and as I've said to them, if you would give us a little bit of time to try and get this correct, we can move forward. But nobody wants to give us any time on it, and as my fellow trustee here said, everybody's forgetting that temporary word in there.
Mayor,
Yes,
may I say something?
yes,
I understand what you're saying about it, you need time to work it out.
mhm,
That costs money to the people that are hurting because they can't rent their offices.
I understand that. And that's part of what this amendment is. We're not trying to squelch someone that they can't do anything. And that's why I've asked the ones that have spoke to me to give us some time so that we could get this worked out.
But this is the first time you've mentioned that you're agreeing to work it out.
Well, I have said that many
You put in,
times.
you put in that it was gonna take a year.
That's what it's set for a year. So that if we don't get anything done in that year, it's gonna expire in a year anyway. The wording in it is up to 1 year. So if we got everything together at tomorrow night's planning commission and they show up, we have our regular board meeting in August, we could vote for everything to be changed right then and there, and then the moratorium
So
is
you
done.
cannot, this board cannot vote. I would like to make a motion to amend the or
we can't.
repeal the moratorium tonight.
We need to discuss the amendment first.
And could you explain why?
Well, no, if you wanna make a motion to repeal the amendment, the moratorium, you can,
I would like to make a motion to repeal the moratorium.
okay?
And I would second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do you wanna discuss anything?
Well, yeah, you wanna have discussion? I don't know what else to say on it. I have talked about this till I'm blue in the face. And I mean, I don't know what else to say on it. We have a motion on the floor.
So I have questions I direct to staff. If we repeal. If we repeal ordinance number 5,
No, I think the motion was for
is that, what are you repealing?
four.
Or is the
Five.
original moratorium.
So
4.
can we still, as can the planning commission still realign town center? Can the planning commission still address those as we move forward?
Well, I think that has to happen because, I mean, this wouldn't have been in place if, you know, we didn't have some sort of issues going on. But was it the right way to go? So I think, yeah, it still needs to be there.
You can't repeal it unless it's a unanimous vote, you know,
Sorry, can you say that again?
it has to be unanimous. You can't have a majority on a emergency moratorium or emergency ordinance. If you put it all on, you all take it off.
Is there any other discussion from board members on it?
I understand why it was implemented. I certainly do. I also have seen so much misinformation flying around. I have seen so much divisiveness going on that was really spectacularly unnecessary. If people would have communicated, I think we could have already moved past this. It would have been done. The Dancing Jaguar people, you know, they have their food truck and their roasteria at my place. They were talking about moving out because Kiowa has become such a toxic community. That was not because of the moratorium. It was because of this spectacular amount of people grabbing something and running with it and turning it into something it was never meant to be. I am a business owner. Every single penny I have on this earth is invested in that property. Right? So you understand, that's my retirement. That's my kid's legacy. I would never do anything ever that would damage or hurt my property value. What has hurt the property value of any of us here that are property owners and business owners has been the misinformation that has been made public, in my opinion, unnecessarily. We tried a few years ago to get another business approved in the election. It wasn't. I said, okay, plan B. And that's it. I mean, it does not have to become what this has become, this wildfire of anger and frustration and nobody talking to each other is the problem, in my opinion.
Are you for or against?
Can I make a comment?
Yeah,
I'm Dean McAllister, by the way. I don't think it's so much that you guys, we wanna rezone anything, it's just the process of how it went through. It's just all of a sudden, everybody wanted to stop, we're not gonna do anything. That's, I think, the whole process. Go through the planning commission, have they come give you the their report of what we should do to change zonings and do this and that, great. But having places that are already set up for office spaces that had offices in them. And then now all of a sudden, you can't lease it out to anybody because we're not letting offices come in. Now, that's just picking on one section. It's the whole gamut of commercial, residential, all that needs to go through, not just one little piece. So, thank you.
yes, Debbie.
So I just wanna clarify, so there was no misinformation given in regards to the exceptions. I sat here during a meeting and this board told us there would be exceptions made. I spoke to Global Propane and I said, Anthony, they said there's gonna be exceptions. So he made an application. I posted that application. I posted the response. That is a problem. We came here. I get what your idea was behind it, but that's not what happened. And it's costing us thousands. And that's not fair. What this board has done to us is not fair. And I'm asking for you to repeal it.
Trustee Hart.
Hi, sorry, I'm out of town at the moment, but I would like to reiterate what the mayor said, that this is temporary. We had a plan in place to help our town because we had a new organization with the Main Streets organization coming in. We wanted to protect them, give them time to get their board organized, and then we also wanted to help get the planning commission on board with restructuring some of the wording, especially the banners and signs ordinances, because everybody came into that meeting that one night just all fired up because they're thinking we already passed it and we didn't. We didn't. We had just gotten that a couple of days before the meeting and we needed to review it. And I tell you, at that meeting, it was obvious that none of us liked that. So we decided to go ahead and get back with the planning commission and say, hey, revamp this. So we had a special meeting with the planning commission and we all sat down together and we were supposed to have at the last meeting a new ordinance wording. It was supposed to be redone, but at that time it wasn't. So now we have another meeting tomorrow night to be present with them again and say, okay, let's get this going. And then also, this is temporary. It wasn't meant to focus on any one specific business in town. I have a business in town as well. So it's not to stop anyone from doing business. It's to help us protect the town from bigger entities and also try to help the future of Kiowa. There's 742 residences in the town of Kiowa as of the last census. So we need to take that into account too when we're doing these kinds of things. We have that. We have the this new amendment that we would like to do for special review. And yes, I understand that special use is a totally different thing, but this is just a special review. And I'd like to go ahead and say that, you know, we weren't doing it to oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm driving, but we weren't doing this to punish anybody in town. We would love to see the town thrive. I would love to. I moved back here 7 years ago. I've been out here off and on since 1979. And I love this area. I love this town. My grandkids live here too. And so, you know, I would like to see it grow. Unfortunately, we are landlocked by one specific landowner. And I would like to see that we get that changed because we need to grow our town. And hopefully you guys will work with us and hopefully everybody will quit squabbling and fighting because, you know, I'm kind of tired of it. I frankly do not like people who I thought I had a good rapport with giving me dirty looks as they pass by me and snubbing me by pointing their nose in the air, you know, and that's heartbreaking for me because I love this town. I love this town and I want to be here. And I would like to see our businesses thrive and I would love to see it cleaned up. And so these ordinances need to be put in place with the planning commission, so please show up at the planning commission meeting. Thank you.
So I would just like to bring us back to ordinance 5 and the amendment that hopefully has been distributed for everyone's review that is in attendance and for the board.
Can I interrupt you?
Yep.
We have a motion on the floor and a second, and we're having discussion on this. So we need to go ahead and carry through with that before we try to even discuss the amendment.
Ended.
Can I clarify something real quick?
Yes,
Connie's talking about false information being put out. A plethora of it. Debbie, I just need to clarify, you made the assertion that an application was submitted by Global Propane. They never submitted an application. They wrote an email to this office inquiring
ask
about
them
it.
to make an
That's not an application. They mentioned you and another person directly by name. So when somebody is mentioned by name, considering the two people that are mentioned by name, there's different considerations because of how the zoning currently is in the town center. And I did address that question directly to them because the position that they have in town right now is not directly in town center. So the question directed to me in that email that you did not post, you only posted my response.
Is it even on my building?
That building's set in an area of town center that is not currently considered town center right now, so it doesn't have the same zoning that your building does. I did,
Yeah.
and that's why I went directly to them and asked them the question, because if they were, I made this, the difference between, if you're looking at this building up here and you're looking at this building down here, this building up here does not have the same zoning right now, and that's what we're working towards. So if you're considering this one seriously, then that one, it does not fall under the moratorium right now. But if you're considering the other one, it does. That's the distinction they were asking, and that's the distinction I gave them.
He did ask you if there are any exceptions, and you said, no, there are
You're
none.
absolutely
And the
correct,
board
I did.
Tell us there were exceptions.
You are
Multiple
absolutely correct. So for context to that comment, they clarified at the last meeting that the reason that response was given is because Ruth made the assertion exceptions can be made. We can revise it to give exceptions. And the reason I responded the way I did at the time is because this meeting had not happened yet. Those exceptions had not been clarified or put
You
into an
made no
amendment.
inkling, there was nothing welcoming about that.
Okay.
You didn't say we're
Debbie.
working on that, nothing.
It's gonna always be a losing battle with you.
You're
I can
right,
only
it
give
is.
you the clarifying information.
You're
That's
right,
it.
it is.
So
okay, let's move on
I'll
now.
give it back to the mayor.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we need to go ahead and. Is there more discussion on repealing the moratorium?
I would like to know, just for my own information, what exactly would that mean if we repealed it? What exactly would that mean? What would be the upshot of it? What would happen tomorrow?
Same thing if it stayed in place at this point.
Okay.
If we get this amendment done,
Mhm.
that would take care of a problem that I hear everybody saying. But it seems that we've got some people that just want it repealed.
Can I ask you, because I never got an answer, my son Chris was here last month. He asked the question of why did you do the moratorium? And we never got an answer of that.
Yes, we've told that over and over, Lorna.
Tell me again.
We put the moratorium in place because at the time, the county had leased, well, they wanted to lease one building. They had already signed a lease on another building. And we have concerns that the county was gonna come in and rent up all of our office space. We wanted to sit with the county and find out what their ambitions were. They called that meeting. They chose not to show up. So we had no answers on that. Okay? Everybody's under the false impression that they're gonna rent buildings and they're moving more people. They're not moving any more people here. They're trying to spread out the people they already have here.
The
Okay?
county,
Yes. So it's not like they're hiring a bunch of new people and they're gonna be living here.
how do you know that? That's your
Yes, I was told that. Were we not told that?
Yes, we were.
Okay,
Uh-oh.
that's what the county commissioners told us. They weren't hiring new people. It was to make sure they had more room
I have a
for
question.
their employees.
Yeah.
Yes,
If that's the case, then why didn't the moratorium make an emergency stop on deals with the county? Instead of making a stop on deals with offices and businesses in town?
that is one aspect of it. I have not finished the rest of the aspects of the moratorium. Okay, the one aspect was to find out what the county was planning on doing with our buildings in the county.
Okay.
Okay, the second aspect of it is to refocus on the zoning of the business area in town.
Right.
Okay,
Town center.
yes, town center. And we don't want 15 million offices moving in, and they would sign a 4 or 5 year lease. And there's nothing that, could be done with that. We're not saying there can't be any offices in Kiowa. That would be the death of Kiowa. Because there are a lot of offices here. And Kim, refresh my memory, what's the third thing on it?
It is
Expanding
the,
town center.
using the commercial property as residence,
Right,
expanding
Expanding the,
town center from one end of town
Right.
to the
so
other,
that,
creating incentives,
right,
as Mr.
so people would have the
Summer said.
option to sell their home as a home or business without having to go through all the red tape.
okay, thank you. That's the original reason for the moratorium. It was put in as a temporary moratorium. As I was explaining earlier, if we can go in and get the zoning and everything changed, this could be lifted by September
No.
Oh, gee.
easily.
What about in the meantime?
Well, what about in the meantime? We just went through and I told you guys, the planning commission are all volunteers. Tammy just said to you, we went through this whole banner thing, the flags and banners. We sat with the planning commission with a work session, told them what we'd like to see in it. They had their planning commission meeting. Nothing was done. So now they've got to address it again tomorrow night. So any of this stuff is gonna be put down the line from them.
If my tenant Landmark Realty moves out tomorrow, am I able to re-rent it as an office space?
That's why I'm asking everybody, will you let us get through with the amendment
But
here?
you're saying it might take till September?
No,
Oh,
Why don't
No.
you go ahead and read it?
Misunderstood.
Why don't you
Yeah,
read
well,
it,
but you
Terry,
gotta-
so they have the, I know, they need the information, you guys are not getting the information, you're asking a lot of questions. That she can clearly clarify if she just read the ordinance.
but we already have a motion on the
Then-
floor and we need to close that out.
We need to
carry it through.
motion
I'm not
and
calling
the-
the point of order and vote on it.
Amendment.
For discussion's sake. We're in this,
Yes, we're in discussion.
read the.
You can read, yes.
Excuse me, you guys, you can table that motion instead of making it fail or succeed and consider ordinance 5. Or at least the substantive elements that are being proposed, because it may help clarify some things, and it certainly is what's published and what is on the agenda this evening.
I'd like to make a motion that we table the motion to repeal ordinance 4 for the discussion purposes, so that we can read the emergency ordinance number 5.
Okay. Any discussion?
Who's second, Connie?
Yeah, Tony.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
You
Okay.
oppose tabling it? Okay. So. Go ahead.
All right, I will read the amendment that we're wanting to make on it. The first page is basically a lot of legal jargon, but I will read it to you. Town of Kiowa, Colorado, Emergency Ordinance Number 5, Series 2025. An amendment of the Emergency Ordinance Number 4, Series 2025, establishing a temporary moratorium in town center for any additional businesses, offices, or other non-revenue producing activities, and declaring an emergency for the town of Kiowa, Colorado. Whereas the town of Kiowa, Colorado town is a home rule municipality existing pursuant to the laws of the Colorado Constitution, the Colorado Revised Statutes, and the town's home rule charter. And whereas Article VI, Section 6.04 of the Kiowa Charter allows for the adoption of an emergency ordinance when the town board of trustees determines that the ordinance is necessary to the immediate preservation of public peace, health, and safety, and includes such a declaration with the ordinance and adopted by a unanimous affirmative vote of all the members of the board of trustees. And whereas on May 21st, 2025, pursuant to CRS 31-15-103 and 31-15-104, and pursuant to the home rule powers of the town board of trustees unanimously approved emergency ordinance number 4, series 2025, to provide for the safety, preserve the health, promote the prosperity, order, comfort, and convenience of its inhabitants. And whereas since the adoption of ordinance number 4, series 2025, the town of Kiowa community has expressed concerns with the impact of limiting existing offices, tenants, owners, developers, or purchasers in town center and local government, specifically Elbert County, seeking office space. And whereas the board of trustees has unanimously voted to make the following exceptions to the ordinance number 4, series 2025, to address the concerns of the community, and all other provisions of ordinance number 4, series 2025, are incorporated herein and shall remain in force and effect. Now there it be ordained by the town board of trustees of the town of Kiowa, Colorado, the following. Section 1, recitals incorporated. The above and foregoing recitals are incorporated herein by reference and adopted as findings and determinations of the town board of trustees. Section 2, offices located in town center. Purpose. The purpose of this provision is to provide for certain uses that are considered inconsistent with the goals and objectives of ordinance number 4, series 2025, a moratorium in town center. Number 2, it is the intent of the town of Kiowa to promote the public health, general safety, and neighborhood character of Main Street and the larger community during the moratorium, with the administration and implementation of these standards. Number 3, offices shall be permitted only in areas containing existing commercial office uses. Number 4, construction and development of the new office space, and expansion of existing offices are prohibited. Section 4, declaration of emergency. In accordance with Article 6.04 of the Charter of the Town of Kiowa, the Town Board of Trustees finds and determines that this ordinance is immediately necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, or safety, because the current development and subdivision regulations are outdated and continued development can drastically impact the town. Therefore, this ordinance shall be in full force and effect immediately upon adoption of this ordinance, if approved by an affirmative vote of the town board of trustees of the town of Kiowa. Section 5, direction to the staff. Town staff is hereby directed to refuse to accept for filing and not process or review any new applicants for for any zoning applications that require subdivision or subdivision under the subdivision regulations. Town staff are also hereby directed to refuse to accept filing and to not process or review any application for new development as further outlined in this ordinance. Section 6, severability. If any provision of this ordinance or the application of such provision to any person or circumstance is for any reason held to be invalid, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions or applications of this ordinance, which can be given effect without the invalid provision or application. And to this end, the provisions of this ordinance are declared to be severable. The town board of trustees hereby declares that it would have passed this ordinance and each provision thereof, even though any one of the provisions might be declared unconstitutional or invalid. As used in this section, the term provision means and includes any part, division, subdivision, section, subsection, sentence, clause, or phrase. The term application means and includes an application of an ordinance or any part thereof, whether considered or construed alone or together with another ordinance or ordinances or part thereof, the town. Section 7, safety clause and authority. The town board of trustees hereby determines and declares that this ordinance is promulgated under the general police power of the town of Kiowa, and that it is promulgated for the health, safety, and welfare of the public, and that this ordinance is necessary for the preservation of health and safety and for the protection of public convenience and welfare. The town board of trustees further determines that the ordinance bears a rational relation to the proper legislative sought to be obtained. The board of trustees further determines and declares that it has the power to adopt this ordinance pursuant to the Local Government Land Use Control Enabling Act, CRS 29-20-101. Section 8, publication. The town clerk is ordered to publish this ordinance in accordance with Article 6 of the Kiowa Charter. Passed unanimously in order to publish said publication of ordinance in its entirety and published one time in a local newspaper of general circulation. Excuse me. With the entirety of the ordinance also posted at town hall. And then the rest of it's if it is signed.
Ruth, do you want to explain that?
Do I want to explain everything she just read?
The revision, what is the revision for those that
Oh,
don't speak that you put in there?
the revision is essentially that there's no more restrictions on office space. And there's no provision for an SRU or any type of additional permitting required. Or fees. I mean, you have to apply for a business license just like you would anywhere else.
But the moratorium stays in effect to continue working through their code revisions.
That's correct.
Do we have a chance to say anything?
Yeah, Joey, what?
Look, I don't know what's going on here. This is weird to me. That isn't what's being said here. There's a special use permit that has to be, you have to go, so if Debbie wants to get her building rented, she has to.
You're looking
It's
at
not out of mine, I must have an older one.
Yeah.
So there's nothing, any office space.
No.
But if I wanna rent this, maybe the bar, if I want to try to get it sold, they can't come in and buy it and use it for office space, correct?
Correct.
So how is that fair to people that already bought properties, that own them, that have their lifeline out there financially? I have 4 buildings in this town. I have dedicated myself to this town. I've been here for 30 years, longer than most of you. So how is this fair to me? If I can't make it at the spa because the economy starts to fail, which could happen, We all know it. How am I going to make a living or keep my buildings? Am I gonna go bankrupt? Do you guys wanna see these buildings, more buildings vacant?
Joey, you do understand this is temporary, right?
Wait a minute, temporary means what to
Are
me?
you selling the bar in the next couple months?
I sure hope so. I hope I sell everything in this town the way things are going, Kim. I will tell you, I never thought I was gonna have to face this in this town with these people. I will tell you, I don't think that you guys mean ill will, but I think there's a lack of common sense and a lot of ignorance going on. And it is so concerning to me. You guys, I have ran several businesses and my husband does. If you guys think that this is easy and this is just gonna be no big deal, I have had that bank building sitting for 2 years in August. This is just dumbfounding me.
But you have, we got a building permit for that.
Wait a minute,
We
nothing has started.
approved for them to have the restaurant.
You understand
Wow.
that that restaurant has not started.
We're just
The
waiting for
amount
the.
of tariffs on the supplies alone has doubled the price of the actual work.
And that-
I'm not
We
saying,
did that?
I'm not saying you did it, but if that building doesn't get rented and I can't rent it to an office space because it's never not been one in the last 2 years, I'm gonna be real mad.
It
What
was
am I gonna
back
do with it?
before,
Yeah,
So that's an office space.
but you guys have already approved it for a different.
We didn't rezone it, we didn't do
No,
anything.
we-
I can now use that as an,
Yeah,
I can now use that. What about the bar?
What about the bar?
Can it be used for anything?
For whatever is zoned right now.
Is it zone C1?
I don't know what the bar is zoned.
Yeah, I don't.
It's multi-use, you guys.
Well, then that's what it is.
We're working on zoning.
That's why we wanted to do this moratorium, so we can fix some of those things.
The problem is, you guys, is what I see happening is you guys wanna change some things to where, I do believe that's what's happening. I believe you want office spaces only in certain areas. I don't think you're gonna let anything in town be an office space. I do believe that. Tell me if I'm wrong there. Can any, so anything in town can be an office
This
space, right?
just says right here.
Okay, well, I might have
Okay,
the old.
now after the moratorium is done,
Okay,
and if you're within the new zoning codes that we've come up with, then you can use that bar for whatever, that's legal.
And
in
it's
the
go to a
zoning.
planning commission meeting so you can have input on zoning.
Right,
I show up at all the meetings. You guys realize I'm getting brain dead over all these meetings.
We just did a
I'm getting
whole
nowhere with-
revision for you.
What's that? What was that?
For the bar, you came to us and you were upset because you felt that if we didn't change the zoning in the town center to allow for more than one bar, if you sold that bar.
That isn't what I said.
Oh, Joey,
I
okay,
never said anything about one bar. Because I don't think I should monopolize an industry. If another bar wants to come in and try to beat them out, they should. I don't believe that. What I said is your zone, the way that you had your table of uses set up was actually, that was all wrong. The table of uses was wrong. These people that are here don't know how bad the table of uses were. You know, they were really messed up.
which is why I went to bat for you.
And I
went back
appreciate
and
that.
redid all of the zoning.
I
for it.
appreciate that. And you know, I've actually said to you, the things you guys do, I appreciate.
Yeah.
What I'm concerned about is the one thing that you'll never catch me do is lie. And I feel like we have actual counsel that did not speak the truth this evening. I don't like that.
Truth was not spoken.
You don't believe that's true?
I'm not gonna, interact.
Okay.
I'm not going back and
Okay.
forth. Joey, you just called us ignorant.
What's that?
You just called us all.
I never said you were ignorant. I said there's a lot of ignorance.
Okay,
Do you think do you guys think that everything that's going on here is a good idea?
no, do you think we enjoy going through this month after month after month? We
Well,
don't.
if that were
I have
true,
asked for some time. You and I have talked.
I have talked to you. I have. Yeah,
You know my intentions. It's not to hurt anybody.
okay.
Yes, we made, and this was all blown out of proportion. I made the comment, I would love to see a little coffee shop or something there. I would. Is that gonna happen? Not anytime soon. I know that. That was misconstrued and it went all over town. That's what the mayor wants there. That's not what I'm saying. You know? We're trying. I don't know. I'm at the point now where
Well, I'll tell you what.
I'm.
What I
I'm
guess
done.
we'll find out, you guys, is what happens at the end of this. if I go to sell a building and it can't be pretty much anything that's C1, we'll know there's a problem, right?
You don't make the sale, that's permanent. Dave just brought that up. That lasts forever. It's not temporary. You lose that forever. That's a permanent fact.
I feel like it's very concerning, and I want you guys to
That's
realize.
why we want to work on the zoning codes. That's what I'm trying. You've been to the meetings and stuff.
Listen, but do you
There's a
have to
lot-
have this, do you have to have this emergency moratorium and like emergencies for bleeders, okay? It is not, this is not a bleeding situation. I think you guys could probably change that, so maybe Debbie can get hers rented. Do you see this lady right here?
Did you
They
not
bought-
just hear the
Okay,
amendment
I
that I read?
understand.
Debbie can do that.
Okay, great.
Okay?
I can't. Can I?
No, not tomorrow. You can't.
Okay, all right.
I wanna ask a quick question to Ruth, just so the board is all
can't.
aware. If we were to revoke the moratorium tonight, planning commission can still work on zoning and it can still go to us without affecting some of the issues that have been brought up tonight. Ruth, is that correct?
I think as a general statement, yes.
Well, now the board at least knows that we have that option, correct?
The issue that could be presented for the board would be somebody coming in for a use during the interim that doesn't meet the goals and objectives of the Main Street Plan, strategic plan, or any of these other issues going on. And the ongoing issues we have with the zoning map and, I mean, the list goes on and on. So you may get stuck with something during that time, a land use that may be incompatible to the goals and objectives, which is the whole purpose of doing it. My guess is it'll be interesting to see if we get applications for offices now that if you pass 5 or whatever you do, to see what happens. Because some of the issues for the town, we can't all solve this evening.
So I'm late to the game on all this. I don't know what our address is. We bought.
I'm
this
sorry, what
Iowa
is your
garage.
name?
Kelly Wojcik,
How do you spell your last name?
WOJTECH. So rezoning. Is that something that I need to be concerned about? Like I bought a building. Thinking that, okay, we're going to either renovate this, bring it back to what it was. Or we're going to tear it down, build a nice office building, showroom, something nice right there. It's boarded up. It's gonna remain boarded up until we figure out kind of what's going on. So I mean, is this?
Is that the old gas
Is it
station?
the old gas station?
Yeah,
I had it.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you.
Yeah,
Just checking.
yeah, sorry, I don't know what the address is. So
okay.
is that gonna have a zoning change that then?
No, it is just in town center.
But I-
possibility.
Right, because I'm
Yeah, it's a
hearing like,
possibility that it could. But then that's where, you know, our planning commission, they're folks just like you. They're volunteers. You guys need to, and tell me about meetings you go to. I probably go to more meetings than any of you do, because I try to be involved in every aspect of this town that I can be. Plus, I work a full-time job. So. That's when, instead of coming in here yelling at us, we need you guys to show up to planning commission meetings and say, we want to talk about what this zoning should be. Should it be commercial? Should we allow housing there? That kind of stuff. These people go off the advice they get from the attorney, looking at other codes and stuff in other towns. So we like input from you guys. And they put everything together, then it comes to us to look at and we approve or disapprove it.
I mean, so I guess my concern is, I mean, we're just gonna go somewhere else. So our building will remain an eyesore until someone wants to buy it.
And the
And
planning
is that what
commission
you want?
is the outfit that put the moratorium in place. So that's irrelevant. It's this organization that put the moratorium in
Yes.
place.
Because
So when the planning commission has all of their plans laid out, and they've made a plan for the town, which we all will have been involved in, and that would have been done in the proper order, then at that time, we'll abide by all of that. But at this point, it is the town of Kiowa, not the planning commission, that has done this wrongly. And you keep redirecting our attention to the planning commission. Right now, it has nothing to do with the planning commission. It has to do with this moratorium.
okay, all right, so I read that. Where are we at with this?
You have to decide if you're gonna untable the motion.
Are we gonna reopen that motion that was tabled?
Are we gonna reveal it?
Well, you gotta open the motion first and then decide.
We just read the amendment. Do we want to go back to the motion, open it back up? Or do we want to try and move forward with this amendment? Board?
Follow Robert rules of order, that's.
I would like to repeal the moratorium. So you have to go back and untable the
I need a
previous
motion to have it
motion.
untabled.
And a second.
Motion to untable it.
Okay,
Do we have a second?
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye. No.
you probably should do a
No.
roll call vote for that. Hold on.
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm tired, had a long day, won't feel good.
That motion.
The motion on the floor is to repeal the moratorium.
Yes. Well, first it was
No.
to untable it.
It's to untable.
Oh, to untable it, sorry, yes,
That's one we're on right now.
yes.
So I have a first by Bailey and a second by Mona. So we'll do a poll vote. Trustee Hart,
This is done.
Untable it.
untable the motion. Trustee Hart,
Yes, we can untable it.
trustee Wyland, yes. Mayor Howard,
No,
trustee Schaefer,
So let's untable and get it over with.
trustee. Mona, I'm sorry. Ruth,
No, it's just saying
Just-
that you need a majority to vote
Correct.
to.
Right, so we're working on
we're
that.
working on that. Trustee Stoll. Trustee Smith, trustee Dance.
I think you have one extra no.
No, we have 7 now.
But.
We have 7 when Mona,
Or did Tammy say no?
she said yes. I have 5 yes, 2 no. So it's untabled.
Okay.
Now you have to deal with
And
that.
now you have to make a motion.
so Mona made the motion already.
You have to make a motion to repeal it.
We have. Motion. It
Oh,
was
yeah,
tabled.
it was already
Never
made.
mind.
Now it's all.
It was untabled, so now it's a call for question. Right.
Okay. Is there any further discussion from you guys on it? Okay. Let's do a roll call vote on that, Kim.
Well, hold on. So now Mona is making the new motion to repel ordinance 4.
No,
It should be
The
way
motion-
on tap, but so we call for questions. Now
we're back to
voting
repealing
on
it.
that motion.
Okay. Now we're voting on the motion to
Repeal.
repeal ordinance 4. Trustee Hart,
No.
trustee Wyland,
Yes.
Mayor Howard,
No,
trustee Schaefer,
No,
trustee Stahl,
Yes.
trustee Smith,
Yes.
trustee Shantz.
Yes.
4 yes, 3 no.
okay, so it's repealed then, correct?
oh,
Yeah,
Well, yeah, what you just voted on, cuz.
Ruth, do you want to clarify the information that you previously gave me at the other meeting that it has to be unanimous?
I thought it was just if it's an emergency, then it has to be unanimous.
I'm waiting for her to clarify it. I'm not a lawyer. Maybe she's checking charter.
I don't yet, heard we can't hear you, Ruth.
Ruth, can you hear me?
So sorry, by a
You're-
majority. Sorry, I was making sure I'm correct.
Okay. So now it's by majority, not by unanimous vote.
To repeal the emergency ordinance or strike it down.
Correct.
You need unanimous to approve an emergency ordinance.
But a majority to strike it down.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we needed to double check.
That motion.
Passes.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out who the ultimate it lies with Mona and Bailey.
Okay, do we have any other discussion or, communications?
Yes, you need to, I mean, just ideally, ordinance 5 needs to fail.
We need to vote on them private.
But we haven't even made a motion to pass that.
I know,
There was,
but it's
So you make-
published. And we opened a public hearing on it.
okay, so do we have a public hearing then on
No, you
the,
just need a motion.
This whole thing has been a public hearing on that.
So you just need a motion to pass this one.
no, to fail it, because it doesn't apply at this point. So do I have a motion?
Motion to.
Second that motion.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Do we need to do a roll call vote on that?
Do we need a poll vote on that, Ruth?
What doesn't hurt? I'm sure.
Trustee Hart,
Yes.
trustee Juan.
What are we, sorry.
What'd she say?
I think she still said yes.
Okay. Trustee, I'm sorry, Mayor Howard,
Yes.
trustee Schaefer.
Aye.
Trustee Stahl. Trustee Smith. Trustee Shantz.
Yes.
There you go, we're done.
All right, is there any other discussion?
Make a motion to adjourn.
We got a motion to adjourn?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 8:56.